this is where we extend our thread so we can actually pass things behind. And we're currently only passing these 3 things, but I guess we're going to have to pass in our operator and our star count as well. So they're just going to have to pass every single time everywhere. Well, just kidding. We don't need to get the star count, but we do need to get the operator, because if we want to make this abstractor interface, then we have to know the operator sign, because the operator sign, this is where the logic would be. Like in our public void run, we'd have to, like, you can see it's commented out. So if the operator is a plus, then we're going to call add level, which, this is where it's confusing, because this is level add, meaning a level, we're adding a level. But if it's plus, then we're going to call add level, and then if it's minus, we're going to call sub level. And so that would be our logic, whether we actually make an interface or not. But I think somehow there's an easier way to make an interface so you don't have to hit up the if else. But I don't know, because with the interfaces we did, it just forces you to implement. But it's not like, okay, right. So it would be saying that if it's an interface of level add, we would just have to choose the same thing. It's the same thing in that we're going to have to say if it's this, then this is the class we want to use, and if it's that, that's the class we want to use. Because in the game of life, and when we were doing it was running through all of the interfaces, and you would have to basically take the one that you were using, and you would have to kind of rewrite it. You'd have to cast it as the interface so that you could access it. Like, so that's the same thing that we would be doing, and you'd have to say,
I'm going to interrupt. For the presentation, do we know who we want to record it? And how we want to record it?
Well, I think you were saying you were just going to record it and you would put the other slides on it, and we would just take turns talking.
Okay. So if you guys send me your slides through Slack or email, whatever, my BYU email, I can put them on one slide and then record everyone. Do we need our faces in this?
I don't think so. I think we just have to talk so that we have a view. But the problem is, like, the UML has to be correct before we can do it. And so we also need to explain Ariel's responsibility in that too, so he can have it done. So the problem with this is that we can't have accurate stuff if we don't know what we're doing. So we can talk, and like I said, we can say, hey, this is what we think it should do, but we might be right and we might be wrong, and we don't know. And that's why I keep bringing it up, because we're not prepared, because we can't move forward. Oh, wrong class, sorry. It's that one. So, right, for Ariel, this was the part that we assigned to you. So we need a block diagram to convey the high-level components in our software and external to our software that need to interact.
Yeah, I was trying to read something about it, like architecture, because I don't understand a lot about it actually.
That's a great question for tomorrow for the teacher.
I don't know. Why do I have to do actually? It's like, do I have to do a diagram or something like that?
Well, it says you need a block diagram, so yes. And so what I was picturing is like, it sounds kind of like you're supposed to be doing something kind of like this, which seems silly if this is what we all have to be doing. But this is like your block diagram. But if we had if we had APIs and things that we were using, or if we had database storage, like those things would be specifically mentioned right here, and we'd be like, this is what we're using here, and this is what we're using here, and this is what we're using here. But because like this is your block diagram, so you can just be like, well, you know, this is our user class. But that's like kind of like your UML.
So
Just
should we
differently.
wait to have the UML finished and then to do this block diagram, or
Well,
not?
I don't know why. Like, that's why I don't understand why do you need two things that are saying the same thing. So, I'm not exactly sure what it's asking.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to looking for more information or maybe more examples, because if we're gonna talk with the teacher tomorrow, maybe I can ask this, like what he wants for us.
Right. So like high level of components interacting, like I don't fully know what that means.
Me neither.
And then yeah, like in the whole UML, you have to have your class relationships. I hate class relationships. I don't fully understand them, and I read lots, but I still don't know. So I just copied, because almost all of them have very similar, where they've got the composition, and then these ones pass back. You can see all of them have the composition and pass back, and so that's what I did. Composition and pass back, but like, I have no idea how these classes actually relate to this one. And if this is going to be an interface, it's different how these ones actually, because they would be implementing this interface if we go interface. But at the moment, like I can't even draw it, let alone think how to program it.
Okay. Well, now we know what our questions are for tomorrow. And we need to ask him how exact and how correct it needs to be.
I don't think we should ask that. I think we should just do the best we can. And
yeah.
Because if he says it has to be exact and correct and we can't, like, then we have set ourselves up for failure. But if it's never explicitly said and it's just, well, this is the best we could do for here, and oh, we've learned something new, we've changed it, because we have more knowledge, our accuracy has increased. But
okay,
I think I don't know that he's expecting that we have the whole thing written and functioning with this presentation.
He shouldn't.
I think
it's not due yet, right?
Right. Like we still have 6 more weeks to try to figure out how to do this stupid thing. And so it's like, this is trying to help us plan it, because it's supposed to be better planning when you do it this way. Yeah. And so I think it's trying to help us think through, but with really, really poor direction
examples
on how to do that. And so I think ultimately it should make it easier for us if we do it right. But it's how can we do this right? Like, it's kind of just a lot of guessing that this might work and this might work, but I don't know how to make it happen. And so I'm just frustrated. But okay, so let's write down our questions so that we don't forget any of them. So
the biggest one,
okay.
We need to know about the block diagram for Ariel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the biggest, but that's like that should be probably the first one since that comes first on our presentation. And then the
Block
rest will be
diagram.
the UML.
Okay, so what's our specific question for the block diagram?
What components is he like? I need more examples than just software and internal.
Yeah, and we can show him like the same picture that you showed me.
That's the same picture he showed us.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Because it said like a block diagram is useful to convey this information, so maybe I just need to do this block diagram.
But that seems silly. Block diagram, architecture, MVP. A block diagram architecture of MVP.
Yeah.
So maybe that is what it is. Like it is just taking that same thing that he has there, but we're putting our own specific things in it, kind of. And then the UML is just a more detailed breakdown of that. That seems stupid too.
Yeah, but this whole presentation kind of is. They want us to have our project done before we've even done it.
The whole project is done. Like I really just think that they need it. They didn't. I do not feel like we have been taught enough how to use the things that they have kind of like brushed us up on that we had no idea and apply them in
Agreed.
a context like this with all these things that we have no idea. And you can do all this research of how to do it, but most of the examples are so advanced of what we know in any way, shape, or form. You can't even learn from it. And so I'm just angry and frustrated. Okay, look, this looks similar. This is it right here. Here's your block diagram, MVP. So you're going to take that picture that he gave to us and just like recreate it, but you're going to put like
your information.
Yeah, so like in our model, we have a user and we have our file saver, and then like in our presenter, like it just is. I don't know. I would probably do that, but have it just simple and basic, and then we can ask him tomorrow and say like, "Is that what you want?" And then the UML is just more detailed of that, or did you want something else? Because you're very not helpful, but in a nicer way. And it's not his fault because it's not his design. He's just the teacher. Like he didn't create the structure.
Yeah, but he could have added videos to help.
Yeah, I really like
could have. I really like it when he gives information.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's pretty basic too. It's kind of simpler to look at, and actually might be easier without having to make like your curved arches for your arrows. But yeah, I've read so much stuff, and I did more examples in the book trying to figure out stuff, and I feel like there's such a big learning gap from the expectation and what we've been given.
Agreed. It makes me wish that we had decided to do like a magic 8-ball where it's just a random number or random message. That would have been easier to program.
Well, maybe, but like it still is the same mess of like what's your view and what's your presenter, and like you'd have to have a database, like we were thinking of like the dad jokes and stuff. And so it's still the same. How do you separate all that? Because we've only programmed things in a main activity basically.
Yeah.
Like, we've had a couple things that we've moved, and like other things, everything was processing in Java somewhere else, and you accessed one thing and then you displayed it. But to make it all have to process in a different place is hard. And we like ours sounded easy, and it like the game logic's not hard, but the trying to process on every single input gets hairier than I ever would have expected. But I also think we could try ignoring all that stuff at the moment. Like, can we even create, is this the right one? No. Where are you? can we make a main screen? Like, can we make our main screen and our main presenter and our main view? And can we have that pass to the next screen? Like, are we capable of doing that with the knowledge we have? Can we send an intent to the next screen, creating a new view with a new presenter, like that shows you a quantity of stars? Like, it can be hard coded, but could we even get that far? Because it seems like that would be easy, but like thinking about it, I'm not totally sure if we even know how to do that, because it's not fully passing your intent, it's passing your context and passing your view and passing, like, all these things we don't know how to do. We would still have to do that to make that happen.
True. So we'll ask him these questions tomorrow and then chat after we're done so that we can get everything together.
Okay.
Sorry, I just don't, like, I get what you're saying, but we don't have any answers until we talk to him.
I know.
So.
Well, I'm hoping that you guys just know stuff, but the problem is we also may only have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we've already been talking for an hour, and we've come up with a whole bunch of things we don't know. But when I asked him, I was like, so I don't understand. And he talked most of the time, but it didn't give me any answer. So I want him to explain so that we can understand, but I'm afraid that it will be like, well, sorry, the time is up, and we'll be in the same spot. And like, what do we do?
It's not too much time, actually. 15 minutes, it's nothing.
It's nothing. And he was 5 minutes late, and he did say, oh, I don't have to leave right now. So he talked 5 minutes more. So it ended up being like a whole 15, but it was just basically me saying, like, I don't understand how to do this. Oh, it's a good thing. You really should do it. Like, that's great, but I don't understand how to move it from my main to everywhere else. Like, I don't understand that. And it's good because when you're working on a team and you split each of the classes into different things and everybody works on a different part, it's good. And I'm like, yeah, sounds great, but I don't know how to do that. And that was it. So I really, really want him to help, but I'm also afraid that it might not be what happens. Okay. And I don't know what to do at that point. And I just don't understand if everybody else in our class knows how to do what is being asked.
Oh, I doubt they do.
Well, there's not any activity really going on in the Slack, and there hasn't been for a long time, so I don't know. Yeah. But okay.
So tomorrow at 10:30 Mountain Time, we'll get on with the teacher's Zoom, and then after that.
Wait. Did I say 10:30? It's 9:30. Because his was 11:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
9:30 Mountain Time.
So it's 10:30 for you and 11:30 for me. But let me make sure I did say 10:30. That's so bad. Edit message 9:30.
Okay.
Oh. So yeah. Oh. Huh. So this thing that I just submitted to you before that, actually, it's another one of those examples of how to kind of convert the thing, but they just get so hairy. But it's got the same thing, your model view presenter, and like, this is what we did from here to here. It's kind of the same block thing that you're looking at,
yeah.
Where you could just be like, so here's your model, like what we're going to do to start, we're going to grab this information from the user and we're going to pass it to the view, and then we're going to take that response from the view and pass it back to the presenter and pass it back to, like, that would be my assumption of kind of what they're looking for, but I, again, don't know. But I think sometimes if they don't explain very clearly, you can say, well, I didn't understand because you didn't explain very well, so I did my best.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand the relationship of passing from a presenter to a presenter, and I don't exactly know how to do that. Because the only example that we have with multiple presenters is this one, where they never pass to each other. It's just from this like user class we have choosing which one to look at. And so then I'm like, well, that's hard because the greeter screen is gonna have to pass to the next one. Like, there's not really any way around that since we have to have a different view, a different presenter for each view, because we have different views. So unless we have to use the interface of like a listener interface, but I don't know if we have to do that. Maybe I'll read up on interfaces again.
Okay.
It doesn't help. I just read lots and it's all worthless at this point.
Real quick before you guys go, I just wanted to show him what we changed the slides to look like. Where did I put that?
That would be good too.
Because we took away some of the slides that we were doing.
We tried to simplify because it's too hard.
Yeah.
So, I like your number pad at the bottom.
Yeah, I got a picture image from.
Perfect.
Oh, looks nice.
So I figured, I'll do an intro slide of hello and then our names.
And
Then
group 15, because, that's our most favorite part. Oh, and so some fun group 15.
yeah. And then when you send me your slides, I'll do Ariel's first and then yours and then go on to mine. So no matter how many you have, I'll just put them on here.
Right.
Okay, but yeah, that's how we changed it. So we've only got one play surface where you press play or the stars, and you can either get the stars
so
back.
So that's our greet presenter makes that greet view.
This one.
And so from there, okay, so that's actually
the main. That's right. No.
No, that's our greet presenter, and that shows you our greet screen.
That's right.
And then when you select on the play, it takes you to the game presenter, which gives you this option. And if you select the status, which is clicking on the star, then it will take you to the status presenter, which will show you the star view. And so the star needs to have a back, and the game needs to have a back.
Right here. Oh wait, I thought I clicked on it. It's right here.
Yeah, you got them both. I'm just mentally thinking for my UML stuff of what needs to be there.
Okay.
And the toast actually pops up a little oval right over the next, but then it disappears, so you can click next again. So like, if you put it in there, you can't see it, but like when you're talking about it, if you want to, just be like, the toast will pop up right here. So it's outside of the number pad, and then it disappears. So they can click the next button and make the next problem.
Okay, I'll make a toast for that. Do you know what you wanted the toast to say of like correct or try again?
I just had correct and then wrong.
Okay.
Just because if it's little kids, incorrect is a bigger word. And yeah, but whatever, we can easily change that part.
I'll make that smaller. Okay. So if you guys wanted to, because I did share this slide with you, you can always add your stuff onto this. If not, feel free to send it to me. Well,
okay.
Yes, exactly.
I have it open on my phone, and I don't think I can drag it to my phone. I'll see if I can open it somewhere else. But I guess I could upload